My ex-girlfriend from 2 years ago was in a car accident. I was listed as her emergency contact, under the name husband. Fortunately, she wasn't seriously injured, but she lost her memory. I had no choice but to take her home and put her up in the guest room. Who would have thought that night she'd actually ask, "Husband, aren't we sleeping together?" When I brought Zwafei home, she was like a child, full of curiosity yet cautious. As soon as we entered, I changed into my slippers and saw her standing awkwardly by the door. "Why aren't you coming in?" "I don't have any slippers." I looked at the empty entryway and silently cursed myself for being so thoughtless. It wasn't just slippers for her that were missing in this house. Clothes, toothbrush, towel, cup. None of her things were here. The difference between a bachelor's apartment and a home with a woman living in it was obvious. I took a new pair of men's slippers from the shoe cabinet for her and led her inside to sit on the living room sofa. She immediately nestled against me. "Husband, did we have a fight? Why don't I have any slippers here?" Every muscle in my body tensed. I clenched my jaw. We didn't fight. I never could handle it when she spoke so softly. "This house is new. We haven't finished furnishing it yet. We'll buy whatever's missing tomorrow." But the doctor said going to familiar places would help me regain my memory. "Why aren't we going back to our old home?" "Why not go back?" "Because I sold the house right after you moved out." But of course, I couldn't tell her that now. Because you chose this new house. You liked it. It's more spacious than the old one, and you can do your physical therapy here." I wasn't lying about that part. Zwafei had picked this apartment, a large flat in the city center close to my company. I had intended for it to be our marital home, but we broke up before we could get married. "Husband." "All right." I patted her shoulder. "You just got discharged. You need a rest. It's late. Go to sleep now. We can talk about anything else tomorrow." I settled her into the guest room. Taking care of her lately has left me mentally and physically exhausted. We had been separated for 2 years. It was a clean break. When she left back then, it was undoubtedly like a knife plunging into my heart, twisting twice for good measure. But even the deepest wounds eventually heal. It had been 2 years, and I had fully come to terms with the reality of her betrayal. During the Monday morning meeting, I received a call from an unknown number. My first reaction was that it was a wrong number. I didn't answer, but when it rang a second time, and then a third, I sensed something was wrong. "Why did it take you so long to answer? You're Zwafei's family, right? Zwafei is in the emergency room at Central Hospital right now. You need to come immediately." My heart skipped a beat, running 3 red lights. I rushed over just as Zwafei was being transferred from the emergency room to the neurosurgery ward. She was wearing a hospital gown, and numerous bleeding wounds were visible on her exposed skin. I helped a hospital orderly push her bed, jogging down the long corridor. My mind was in turmoil. It had been 2 years. I thought the love had faded, the hatred dispersed. But looking at her now, my mind felt blank, and I couldn't help but acknowledge, someone you've deeply loved will always be different. I gazed at her intently, desperately wanting to shake her awake and demand, "How dare you show your face in front of me again? You're injured this badly. Where did that bastard go?" Once I calmed down, I wondered, should I leave before she wakes up? What was I even doing here? Just setting myself up for humiliation? Torn, hesitant, worried, I was about to drive myself mad. But I never expected that when she woke up, she would look at me blankly and ask cautiously, "Who are you?" I stared at her, stunned. "Zwafei, it's only been 2 years, and you've managed to forget me completely?" A member of the medical staff nearby chimed in. "He's your husband. You don't even recognize your husband." We both frowned and looked up simultaneously. "Husband? I'm married. Husband? When did I marry her?" Just as I was puzzling over this, she gently grasped my hand, her small face furrowed in a frown. "Husband, my head hurts so much." That single word, husband, made my heart clench violently. All the carefully crafted lines I'd prepared were instantly useless. I hated myself for being pathetic, but I still held her hand tightly. Damn me for having once poured everything into becoming her husband. It's been 2 years. The after effects linger. The doctor said she suffered a blow to the head and might have amnesia. There's no telling when she might recover. It could be tomorrow, or it could take a very long time. She's not fit for work for now. Best to recuperate at home. Being around familiar people is good for her recovery, but, and this is crucial, Don't agitate her. I searched through her entire phone, but found no trace of that guy. Could they have broken up? Huh. So he ended up just like me. How satisfying. So I brought her home. It wasn't that I couldn't contact her friends or colleagues. I knew some of them, after all. But after thinking it over, I didn't feel comfortable in trusting her to anyone else. Besides, her phone listed me as the emergency contact, labeled husband. So the medical staff all assumed we were married. It wasn't that I wanted to take advantage of the situation, but mainly, I feared the worst-case scenario. Only as her husband could I sign off on her medical decisions. An ex-boyfriend means nothing in that situation. Spending half a month by her side in the hospital every day. I think I started getting into character. Now that we're home, I can't let myself keep doing this. My thoughts were in turmoil when my bedroom door was gently pushed open. It was Zwafei. She crouched down beside my bed. I held my breath instinctively. She leaned closer, her lips brushing against mine with lingering affection, murmuring, "Husband." Click. I slapped the bedside lamp on and sat up. She was clearly startled, staring at me blankly. "Husband?" I rubbed my face. "Stop calling me husband. You always used to call me by my name." Her large eyes gazed at me, full of confusion. "See you in. Song see you in. Since I know this is all fake, I need to slowly step out of this role." She looked at me, a hint of grievance in her eyes. "But my phone says you're my husband. Aren't you?" She pulled her phone from her pajama pocket, opened the photo gallery, and showed it to me. "Look, it's full of pictures of you." I'd already looked through the gallery. It was true, they were all of me. Me in magazines, me in news reports, even blurry, speculative shots from gossip rags. She had photos from every public appearance I'd made in the last 2 years. And, of course, many old photos of us together. What did this mean? I desperately wanted to demand what she meant by all this. She was the one who had resolutely broken up, saying she didn't love me anymore, the one who clearly had a new man. I went from proud, harsh declarations, "If we break up, you'll never find a man better than me," to desperate pleading, "Baby, please, I'm begging you don't leave, okay?" Even roaring, "Walk out that door and never come back." But she still left without a second thought. That last year we were together. I constantly felt my confidence shattered, my feelings trampled, my emotions toyed with. So, what kind of act was she putting on now? Does she still love me? Does she take me for a fool? I shot up, intended to take her back to her room. But she threw her arms around my waist from behind. "Why aren't we sleeping together? Aren't we married?" she asked persistently. Her questions irritated me intensely. I wanted to just tell her straight, "We broke up long ago. I'm not your husband or your boyfriend. I have no responsibility, no obligation, not even the right to care for you." Her small hand crept onto my chest, and a tender kiss landed on my back. My resolve melted instantly. The words hovered on my lips, then retreated. I swallowed them back down. Better not say anything yet. The doctor said not to upset her. Better wait until she's stronger. I grabbed her wandering hand and turned to face her. "I might grind my teeth or snore at night. It would disturb your sleep." She wrapped her arms around me again, speaking urgently. "I don't mind. I want you to stay with me. I can't remember anything. My mind is a blank slate. I'm really so scared." Wouldn't this be taking advantage of her vulnerability? "Husband, please, I'm begging you, husband." She looked like she was about to cry. All right, what else could I say? I tucked her into the blankets, holding her in my arms. I comforted her softly. "Don't be afraid. I'm here." She turned in my arms to face me, hugging me tightly. "Husband, promise me you won't leave me." I remained silent. "Promise me." I couldn't promise. A promise would be meaningless anyway. I could only pat her gently. "Stop letting your mind wander. Go to sleep now." She slept soundly, but I lay awake all night, hating myself for being soft-hearted, hating myself for being useless, and hating her for coming back to disrupt my life. Yet, I felt reluctant to let her go. My heart felt like a tangled ball of yarn, utterly confused, with no beginning or end. Something seemed not quite right. When I met Zwafei, she hadn't graduated from the dance academy yet. She was very innocent, very beautiful. At the company's annual party that year, the public relations department had invited them to perform. It was love at first sight for me. I got drunk with my buddies and boasted that I had found love. My friends insisted, "Be careful. It could be love for sale." Actually, I didn't care if it was transactional. Being rich was one of my attributes. I didn't think there was anything wrong with loving money. It's always the ones who seem indifferent at first who fall the deepest. My bottom line was, loving money couldn't surpass loving me. But she never asked me for anything. I repeatedly tried to use money to solve her difficulties, like helping her with graduate studies, helping her become the lead dancer, arranging performances for her. But she refused them all. She practiced extremely hard and got into a very reputable dance troupe on her own. For over a year, whenever we had free time, we were inseparable. I had just taken over the company and was under immense pressure. But being with her allowed me to forget my troubles, immersed in our own little world. Our first argument happened when she suddenly announced she was going to the U.S. for a 6-month tour. No matter how much I objected, she was determined to go. She said she had her own pursuits, that she didn't want to be my appendage. There was nothing wrong with what she said, but as a proud man, not being fully trusted and relied upon made me feel very frustrated. Long-distance relationships are tough. We were both very busy, and the time difference made care and warmth seem beyond reach. While indifference and alienation could effortlessly cross mountains and valleys. But disagreements still couldn't overcome longing. From Beijing to the U.S., a 48-hour round trip. I made this exhausting journey once every half-month. By the time she returned from the U.S., I had lost 8 pounds. A relationship that exhausting was destined not to end well. After tossing and turning all night, morning finally arrived. After breakfast, I took Zwafei shopping. I have to say, her beauty was enough to satisfy a man's entire vanity. Even a dress like sackcloth looked ethereal and beautiful on her. I even thought, like in TV dramas, of having all the new seasonal items wrapped up for her. I just didn't expect to run into Gao Mingyan so coincidentally at the mall. She froze for a moment upon seeing me, then walked over with several of her female friends. Mr. Song, enjoying yourself, I see. After speaking, her eyes sized up Zwafei quite impolitely. Aren't you going to introduce us? No need. We're leaving now. Enjoy yourselves. Getting entangled with Gao Mingyan here was clearly unwise. I pulled Zwafei and walked towards the exit. But Gao Mingyan stepped forward, rising on her toes to lean close to my ear and say, CEO Song, some women are just for fun. Don't let them mess up the bigger picture. Then she raised her hand and patted my shoulder. Keep a low profile. Rumors about keeping a mistress aren't good. You might not care about face, but my sister does. I push her away. Watch yourself. Since when are my affairs your business? Oh, I'm just sticking up for my sister. Some ideal son-in-law you are. Nothing but a womanizing playboy. The good mood from shopping vanished instantly. On the way back, Zwafei didn't say a word. Any woman would misunderstand the scene just now, but I wouldn't explain it to her either. After all, our relationship wasn't exactly legitimate. I didn't know how long I'd be playing this role of fake husband. Maybe the next second she'd remember everything, and we'd go our separate ways. Entering the house, before I even took off my shoes, Zwafei suddenly turned and kissed me. It was clumsy, but forceful and urgent. I used all my self-control to grip her arms and steady her. Do you want to talk properly? Her eyes were a storm of emotions, brimming with tears. Talk about what? Will it be what I want to hear? Are you jealous? What do you want to hear? She looked into my eyes, seeming to search for an answer there. For a moment, she said nothing, just burrowed into my chest and held me. Don't leave me. Since her amnesia began, I heard her say, don't leave me, every day. Each time, it stirred a violent rage within me, making me want to demand of her. Don't leave me. How did you treat me when I said those words back then? I felt my chest grow damp. She was crying. The words reached my lips, but I swallowed them back down. That evening, I cooked her a bowl of tomato and egg noodles. She ate with gusto. Neither of us was much of a cook. In the past, on days we didn't order takeout, we'd either make noodles or hot pot. It was easier. That night, I made an excuse about having work to do and told her to sleep first. I stalled until midnight, figuring she must be asleep, sparing me the ordeal of just holding her and talking. But when I pushed open the bedroom door, she was waiting for me, her long hair cascading like a waterfall, alluringly dressed in the lace nightgown she bought that day. Perks of being the fake husband? Had I really been celibate for 2 years just to endure this kind of torment? She knelt on the bed, arms wrapping around my neck. I pulled at her hands. Be good and go to sleep. Don't you want me? I took a deep breath, trying to calm myself. It's not that, your body. I'm fine. I just have amnesia. My body's okay. We're husband and wife. Her gaze flickered downwards. Or are you? Not up to it. I choked back my anger. Well, man could stand that kind of insult. But reason told me to hold back, not to take advantage of her vulnerable state. But she clearly had no intention of letting me go. She leaned in to kiss me. I turned away. She moved to the other side and tried again. I barely dodged it. Again and again. She used all her strength to hold my face steady, trying to kiss me again. I gave you 3 chances. You insisted on seducing me. Don't regret this. She resolutely tilted her face up and kissed me. I'll never regret it. I showed no tenderness, fueled by my resentment toward her. A night of shameless abandon. When I woke up, she was complaining in my arms. I arranged for a professional physical therapist to come to the house to help Fei with her recovery. The housekeeper could handle her 3 meals a day. Meanwhile, I had to dive back into the mountain of work that had piled up over the past 10+ days. When I returned that evening, a sumptuous dinner was already laid out on the table. At first glance, it didn't look like the usual housekeeper's cooking. Fei announced excitedly, I made dinner all by myself today. I was surprised. She couldn't cook before. I used to tease her, calling her a little fool who only knew how to eat. So, amnesia doesn't make you forget how to cook? I asked subconsciously. When did you learn to cook? Her eyes widened as she asked me. Didn't I know how before? I was looking through my phone and found lots of recipes saved in a mini program. So I followed them. It went really smoothly. I didn't even cut my hand. I sneered inwardly. That man certainly had his ways, turning the woman I'd pampered so much she never had to lift a finger into someone who washes her hands to make soup. The thought killed my appetite. I loosened my tie, wanted to go back to the bedroom. Fei followed me in, thoughtfully helping me change into loungewear, chattering about everything she did at home today. Then she pulled me. You don't seem very happy. Was work too tiring? After dinner, let me give you a massage. Well, she learned to give massages too. She pulled me over to sit at the dining table. Only then did I notice the table was full of dishes I love. Hesitantly, I picked the cilantro garnishing the dish into my own bowl. You have amnesia. You've forgotten you don't eat cilantro. Really? But my notes say I absolutely must add cilantro. The hand I was using to pick up food froze. I love cilantro. What did this mean? In the 2 years we were apart, had she repeatedly practiced cooking the dishes I love? She rested her chin on her hands, looking at me. Hubby, I think I must love you very much. The sudden confession made my heart tremble, my eyes sting. I didn't know how to answer. Do you love me? I looked at her expectant eyes and remained silent. Not getting an answer, she muttered to herself in disappointment. It feels like I love you more. How can you measure who loves more? I didn't want to repeat the past, burning myself out in love, especially since our relationship now is completely unbalanced. Some things, can we discuss them when your memory returns? For a while after that, we continued interacting like this. The awkwardness in my heart yielded to the warmth of daily life. During the day, I went to work. She stayed home for rehab, occasionally cooking dinner and waiting for me to come back and eat. In the evenings, I'd accompany her to watch our old videos and look at photos, telling her details about our time together, watching movies we used to like, trying to help her regain her memory. At night, unable to control ourselves, we'd shamelessly fool around in every corner of the house. My buddy Howren, who's also the VP at my company, ribbed me. Socrates said man cannot step into the same river twice. But you? Are you ready to be hurt by the same woman twice? Will you die if you don't speak? I'll go crazy. Then keep holding it in. Stop kidding yourself. She'll regain her memory sooner or later. Have you resolved the fundamental conflict between you two? Can you forgive her for falling for someone else back then? Does your mom know she's back? A series of questions, each one hitting a raw nerve. Indeed, nothing was resolved. I just deliberately chose not to think about it. The biggest problem between us originally was that she couldn't give up dancing for me, and my family couldn't accept my wife being a dancer. Later on, With frequent conflicts, someone took advantage of the situation. Actually, it wasn't that I couldn't defy everyone and insist on marrying her. The key thing was at the time, I also didn't want her to dance. When we had been together for over 3 years, she was only 23, the prime time for a dancer. As her performances increased, we spent more time apart than together. Distance is to love like wind is to fire. It extinguishes the weak and fuels the strong. During that time, I had an almost perverse desire to keep her tied to my side. I remember one time, her dance troupe collaborated with the Brunei National Dance Troupe. I happened to be on a business trip in Singapore, so I diverted to Brunei to see her. She performed a solo dance called Soul of the Peacock. It was incredibly beautiful, incredibly passionate. I only found out later that the Bruneian royal family was in the audience, and one young, wealthy Bruneian noble publicly expressed his intention to pursue her. I was furious. Of course, it wasn't her fault, but I felt threatened, annoyed, and became petty. As her performances increased, her beauty was noticed by many men. Suitors swarmed her, countless like fish crossing a river, and I even had to admit some were more outstanding than me. I started not knowing how to keep her. The more I tried to restrain her, the further away I seemed to push her. Meanwhile, my career was also in an uphill stage. The business world was full of deceit and intrigue, with endless social engagements. I worked from dawn till dusk, and during the rare moments of free time I managed to get, my girlfriend wasn't by my side. Relying on phone calls and video chats, we carried on a relationship that felt like scratching an itch through a boot, deeply unsatisfying and incredibly frustrating. Not only that, I was constantly on edge, worried about other men trying to steal my cake, and even more worried whether she might be bullied or harassed. Just then, she got injured during rehearsal at the dance troupe. After investigation, it seemed possible she had been deliberately set up. I panicked. An injury could heal, but what if something worse happened? The perpetrator was a minor player. I had the power to handle it completely. But some suitors even had underworld connections. She was in the open, they were in the shadows. It was impossible to guard against every threat. I took this opportunity to tell her she should stop dancing. I couldn't bear seeing her exposed to this kind of uncontrollable danger. If she loved dancing, fine, I could open a dance school for her. She could teach children, make occasional guest appearances. That could also fulfill her sense of worth. It could still satisfy her dream of dancing. But she refused decisively. We had a huge fight. Because of the accident, she recuperated for nearly 3 months. Although I was furious, she always had a way of deftly smoothing things over with me. During those 3 months, at least I could see her when I came home from work, which was reassuring. I would try my best to cancel social engagements to come back and be with her. Her leg in a cast didn't stop us from having our fun. That feeling of happiness, wrapped in love, might never come again in this lifetime. I was secretly planning to propose to her. Unexpectedly, her foot healed. Although she had missed the chance to be the lead dancer, in order to make a comeback and secure her position in the troupe, she accepted a duet performance. When I went to the rehearsal room to see her, I nearly went mad with anger. The male dancer held her waist intimately. During lifts and catches, one hand gripped her thigh, the other supported her chest. I forced myself to hold back, telling myself this was the career she loved. It was her job. It was art. Don't be narrow-minded. Don't turn into some crass, jealous fool. But when she wanted to change, the male dancer came over to provoke me. Bro, lucky you, huh? Zwafei's ass is really soft, and her tits are fucking huge. Must be wild when you two get intimate, right? I threw a punch, breaking the leering dancer's nose. I was taken away by the police. Unsurprisingly, this incident alerted Mrs. Wu, my mother. My mom had never liked her. In her view, the daughter-in-law of the Song family shouldn't be out making public appearances. For Zwafei, I had fought the most intense battle with my entire family since becoming an adult. They finally relented. Marriage was okay, but Zwafei couldn't continue dancing. She had to stay home, support her husband, and raise children. This was already their biggest concession. So, after the assault incident, Mrs. Wu was very calm, as if she had expected it all along. You should understand now how unsuitable you two are for each other. Ha! Unsuitable, unsuitable. Everyone told me we were unsuitable, but love is love. You don't love because it's suitable. You want to become suitable because you love. Zwafei missed the chance for the duet. I also missed the best time to propose. My stance was firm. I told her I absolutely could not tolerate her being intimately close, hugging and holding other men. She said I didn't understand art, that I interfered with her freedom. So, a Cold War began, followed by reconciliation. Then another Cold War over trivial matters, followed by reconciliation again. The cycle repeated, utterly exhausting. I really loved her. I couldn't bear to give up. She said she loved me too, but my love suffocated her. She told me this the day she left with her luggage. Song Siyuan, I don't love you anymore. I have someone else. The rage was so overwhelming, I wanted to destroy her with my own hands, grind her bones to dust. But after calming down, what followed was an overwhelming, inescapable longing. Countless times, I picked up the phone, wanting to call and demand. Why? Just why? I was so good to you. Of course, reason wrestled with emotion during countless drunken nights, or lonely mornings upon waking. I relied entirely on willpower to endure. After a long time, I actually managed. Forgetting is impossible, but I pushed it down to the deepest corner of my heart. As long as I didn't deliberately dredge it up, it wouldn't surface to cause trouble. In the past 2 years, I occasionally saw her on television. She was outstanding. I even unintentionally went to see her perform live with a blind date. But I left before the curtain call. I was afraid she'd see me. I hated myself for being unable to let go. Until now, I really don't know if this is fate giving me a chance or a punishment. During this time, after the car accident, she has relied heavily on me. I've asked myself more than once, do I still love her? There's no answer, but she can still pull on my heartstrings at any moment. Should we get back together? Putting aside the fact she has amnesia and whether she'd be willing after regaining her memory, just asking myself, I have no confidence we wouldn't repeat the same mistakes. So, like an ostrich, I wait, hoping time will give me an answer, until photos of her and me hit the trending topics. The headline was sensational. Song family Sion's secret rendezvous with beauty, rumored Gao Song alliance off. The photos were from the day we went shopping. She was wearing a long dress, leaning against me. Though blurry, anyone familiar would recognize me. Her identity wasn't mentioned. The photographer probably wasn't familiar with the classical dance scene, so they didn't recognize her. This clearly wasn't the work of professional paparazzi. Wei Howard burst in with the PR manager, all in a flurry. He looked surprised when he saw my computer screen. You already know? Yeah, it's on every platform. Pretty hard to miss. No, I mean, what were you thinking? You know this is a sensitive time, yet you're still parading around town with a woman. Don't blame me for not warning you. You're in for trouble. He even made a bet with the PR manager beside him. I bet Mrs. Wu calls within half an hour. The PR manager, perfectly composed. I bet 5 minutes. No sooner were the words out than my phone rang. I looked at the PR manager and chuckled. Too bad you didn't specify the stakes. Sure enough, it was my mother. She launched into a tirade, which I completely ignored, holding the phone half a meter from my ear. After about 10 minutes, I brought the phone back to my ear. Are you finished? My turn. Firstly, I am confident I can secure the Nanshan project without any marriage alliance. So, you really don't need to be in such a hurry to sell off your son. Secondly, I don't appreciate interference in my private life. That includes you. Lastly, don't scheme against me. I will make you pay the price. I hung up. I picked up my suit jacket from the back of the chair. I'm leaving. Wei Howard cried out. What about the trending topic? Take it down or leave it. Whatever. I didn't need to guess that Gao Mingyan was the one who had secretly taken the photos and paid to get them trending. Ever since I ran into her that day, I knew something like this might happen. The power struggle between the two Gao daughters was hardly news in business circles. The Gao family legacy stretched back 2 generations. Unfortunately, this 3rd generation had no sons. It wasn't impossible for a daughter to take charge, but solid backing was essential. A marriage alliance was considered the best way. Flattered as I was, both sisters had extended olive branches to me. But I wanted Wanzhong Media, which Gao Mingqi controlled, so I chose to cooperate with her. For a while, rumors of our engagement spread throughout the business world. It wasn't real, of course. Just a way to boost shareholder confidence. To make things easier, that's all. For the past 2 years, I've been maneuvering through the factional struggles of the extended family, immersing myself in schemes and strategies, leaving no time to rest. Though tedious, being busy kept me from dwelling on Fei, sparing me the constant pain of unrequited love and betrayal, treating my career as medicine for my emotional wounds. As a result, I built my own power base, no longer constrained by anyone, including my mother. I floored the gas pedal. I just wanted to rush home. Fei scrolls through her phone every day. I couldn't predict how she would react if she saw the trending news. On the half-hour drive home, I took 2 calls. Gao Mingqi called to inform me that some senior executives from both our companies were very displeased with me. To minimize the impact, she asked me to cooperate by attending her family's gathering. But I refused without hesitation. Previously, putting on an act with her was fine. A win-win situation, so why not? But since Fei returned, I'm unwilling. Although our situation is also ambiguous, I have hope, so I don't want any complications. Of course, I said I would compensate Gao Mingqi and expedite our company's collaboration. She's also a straightforward person. She just said, with a hint of disappointment, "I'm a little jealous of your girlfriend." It can't be helped. The heart is only the size of a fist. Once it's full, there's no room for anyone else. The other call was somewhat unexpected. It was Fei's best friend, and Lulu. As someone on Fei's side, we had dined together a few times, so she had my private number. Song Siyuan, is Fei living with you? Quickly, tell me your address. I'm coming to pick her up immediately. I frowned. She has amnesia. She only recognizes me. Even if you come, she won't go with you. I know. I've called her many times. If she hadn't seemed to vanish off the face of the earth, I would have called the police long ago. Now that you know, that's enough. I won't send her back unless she fully recovers and wants to leave herself. Song Siyuan, stop clinging to her. Hasn't she done enough for you over the years? Done what for me? The call irritated me. When I got home, Fei wasn't there. This had never happened in the time since her car accident. She always waited for me at home. Occasionally, when I had social engagements, no matter how late I returned, she would stubbornly wait. I told her many times to eat first, sleep first, not to wait. She always refused. What's the point of being alone? I only feel at ease when you're back. Now, I was the one feeling uneasy. I looked around the empty house. My heart suddenly clenched. What did this mean? Did she see the trending news? Did she doubt our relationship and leave? Doubting was normal. The online articles were sprawling, thousands of words long. They contained not only secrets of wealthy family alliances, but also background information on Gao Mingqi and me, the next strategic plans for both our companies, and stock predictions. Unless she couldn't see it, she would at least question our relationship, why the media reported me as single and linked with a rumored partner. There was a worse possibility. Had she regained her memory and left without a word? The feeling of being abandoned swept over me again. Regardless, this time I needed an answer. I called Wei Haoran while walking. Help me find someone. Boss, who are you looking for? Fei. She's missing. She's missing? Call the police. What good am I? Cut the crap. Use all your connections and find her. My mind raced through all the possible scenarios. I quickly scanned my mind for places Fei might have gone. Shopping? A cafe? The park? The dance troupe? My steps faltered. My heart pounded wildly. There was no time to wait for the elevator. I was so anxious I considered climbing the 32 floors. Just then, the elevator dinged. I immediately turned around and met the eyes of Fei, who was just stepping out of the elevator. The tightness in my heart suddenly eased. I stepped forward and gripped her wrist tightly. Where did you go? Speak up, where did you go? My tone was harsh, leaving her at a loss. I didn't wait for her answer, swept her up by the waist, and carried her into the house. She let out a small gasp, her eyes wide as she looked at me. I dropped her onto the sofa before I saw her eyes clearly. Something's wrong. She'd been crying. I yanked off my tie in frustration, trying to calm myself. Where did you go? She lowered her head. To buy things. Only then did I see the small bag in her hand. The pattern showing through the bag was very familiar. Durex. She awkwardly wrung her hands. We ran out of home. Yesterday wasn't safe. She's really something now. I used to be the one who prepared these tools of the trade. When we ran out, the operation had to stop. Which man has trained her to go buy them herself now? I snatched the bag and looked. She even bought the right kind. I looked at her, with her eyes lowered submissively. For a moment, I was overcome, almost wanting to carry her into the bedroom and have my way with her first. But my reason held. I still wanted to clarify the current situation first. Did you look at your phone today? If you have questions, you can ask me directly. She didn't speak for a long while. I grew impatient waiting, and my tone sharpened. Speak. This shout made her flinch. She looked up, staring intently at me, the corners of her eyes crimson. A tear escaped the corner of her eye, and she quickly wiped it away. I panicked slightly, my imposing demeanor faltering. What are you crying for? Speak. I sighed helplessly. I didn't see you when I got home. I was worried. I apologize. But if you have any questions about me, I want you to ask me openly, not keep them inside and guess. She took a deep breath. I saw the trending topic. I don't understand what it means. If you're my husband, why would you be in an arranged marriage with someone else? An arranged marriage means getting married, right? I hadn't expected her to ask so directly. I suddenly felt extremely frustrated. But since things had come to this point, I didn't want to keep deceiving her. Because we are not husband and wife. I'm not your husband, I said slowly. She had a look of utter disbelief. Then what are we? Why are you my emergency contact? We used to be boyfriend and girlfriend. Very, very in love. Maybe the emergency contact was set back then. And you never changed it. Used to be? Then what? Where are we now? After we broke up, we were strangers. But you came back. So what we are now? That's up to you. Zhuofei started giving me the cold shoulder. Looking completely lost, she told me she needed time to think things through. I left her in the master bedroom. I moved to the guest room. At night, lying in the cool blankets, I reached out. The space beside me was empty. My heart felt desolate too. The unopened pack of Durex in the drawer was now completely useless. After she came back, I would hold her and we'd tumble together until I was exhausted each night, able to sleep soundly until dawn. Now the insomnia she cured had returned. Asking her to define our relationship might be too hard for her. After all, she has amnesia. For her, the past is a closed book. But I don't. For me, the words still echo, etched deep in my memory, unforgettable. At the slightest sound from the next room, my ears pricked up. After waiting a long time, silence fell again. My heart sank a little. It seemed she wouldn't be coming over tonight. I was torn, wondering if I should go to her. I thought about it. No, we'd have to cross this bridge sooner or later. In the morning, Zhuofei appeared with dark circles under her eyes, just like mine. Let's talk. I had already put on my suit. I glanced at my watch. No time. I had a meeting this morning. If you don't mind, come to the company with me. Sitting in the car. The drive is half an hour. We can talk. Is it appropriate for me to go? After all, you have fiancé? Red light. I turned to look at her. Since you saw the trending topic, why didn't you ask me from the start? She took a deep breath. I thought of many possibilities. I thought we were secretly married, that it wasn't convenient to announce it, that your public persona was single for business or something. You know, like how they act in TV dramas. But I never expected the reality to be even more melodramatic than a TV show. She was quite good at justifying herself. There's no fiancé. It's all just gossip. Can't be helped. Being too popular means quite a few women throw themselves at me. CEO type, you know, like how they act in TV dramas. She wrung her hands. You could tell she wasn't feeling good about it either. How long have we been separated? Over 2 years. She looked shocked. Then her expression turned blank. That long. Then, why did we break up? My heart clenched violently. I gripped the steering wheel tighter. Because you didn't want me anymore. You fell for another man. After settling Zhuofei in the office, I went to a meeting with the sales department. My head was spinning all morning. When I returned, I found Wei Haoran was also in my office, chatting with Zhuofei about something. As he came out, he passed me and winked. Bro, I couldn't hold it in anymore. Finally got that off my chest. I rubbed the bridge of my nose. This was really giving me a headache. What did Haoran say to you? Do you remember him at all? Zhuofei shook her head blankly. No, but he said he used to know me quite well. I nodded. We used to hang out together a lot back then. He was a professional third wheel. Don't worry about what he said. We just have different perspectives. He yelled at me, but I wasn't angry. Hearing about our relationship from someone else actually felt quite familiar. You said you did a lot for me, but I let you down. I can't believe I was that bad. She lowered her head, thinking for a moment. I'm sorry. Thank you for everything during this time, but you're not obligated to take care of me. So, I think I should move out of your place. I clenched my fists, staring at her. Is this your answer? Move out of my place and never contact me again? Then what have you been taking me for all this time? Last night, I kept telling myself to be gentler. She has amnesia. Blaming her, taking my anger out on her, it's unfair to her. But I just couldn't control myself. Hearing her say she wanted to leave felt worse than having my heart gouged out. But you didn't correct me. You knew I misunderstood. Why didn't you tell me sooner? Her question left me speechless. It's true. Ultimately, I was being selfish. I had ulterior motives, but then why didn't you change your emergency contact? Why is it labeled husband? She shook her head, looking utterly lost. I don't know. I don't remember. She bent over, burying her face in her knees, murmuring painfully, I don't remember. I don't remember anything. Seeing her like this felt like a knife twisting in my heart. I knew it wasn't her fault, but I just wanted to vent all my pent-up grievances on her. Weren't you the one who came onto me? Did you think I wanted to be this fake husband? Living on edge every day, worried sick. Isn't that hard on me? Use me heartlessly, and now you will leave. People are like that. It would be one thing if you never had it. But to gain and lose and regain, only to lose again? The hurt increases exponentially. After the argument, Zwafei didn't leave. The aftermath of sleeping in separate rooms wasn't minor either. It was either tossing and turning sleeplessly or dreaming muddled dreams all night. As for what I dreamed about, let's just say, making a man hold it in hinders social stability. Zwafei wasn't doing great either. Our relationship was awkward. We couldn't find a comfortable way to interact. I started to regret it. If only it hadn't become a trending topic. Maybe over time, she would have grown dependent on me. Filled with resentment, I launched a series of attacks against Gao Mingyan, the instigator of the trending topic. I wanted her to know the price of making me unhappy. Business competition is like a seesaw. When one side weakens, the opposing side stands to profit. Therefore, the collaboration with Gao Mingqi proved quite profitable, which was gratifying. Why are you so set on Wanzhou media? Gao Mingqi asked me, swirling her red wine glass. I couldn't be bothered to answer. Because of a woman? Zwafei. I frowned. Investigating each other's privacy is a huge taboo in a relationship like ours. Don't get me wrong, I didn't mean anything by it. It's just that I've seen her before. She's a dancer, somewhat famous. It's perfectly normal to have seen her. She shook her head. No, I saw her at the hospital. You know, my father had cancer. I saw her when he was getting treatment in the U.S. Because we were both Chinese, and she was very pretty, I paid special attention to her. America? Cancer? My heart pounded wildly. I realized there were many things I didn't know about the 2 years Wafei was gone. The mystery remained unsolved when an unexpected visitor arrived at my office. He was downstairs at the front desk, claiming to be a friend of Zwafei's. Of course, I had to see him. He was a young man, quite handsome and well-dressed, exuding the air of a playful yet cynical sophisticate. He sat down boldly on the sofa, making himself completely at home. I frowned and held my tongue, waiting to see what game he was playing. When he introduced himself as Qi Xiao, Zwafei's boyfriend, I narrowed my eyes. Demanding her from me right off the bat? What makes you think I'll hand her over to you? Because I'm more qualified to take care of her than you are? You have a fiancé. You're not planning on making Zwafei your mistress, are you? You said it yourself, fiancé. It's just a title. Besides, it's just a rumor. He frowned at me. Are you always this casual, mister? Song? Keeping an ex-girlfriend you broke up with over 2 years ago tied to your side. Are you trying to rekindle an old flame or waiting for a chance at revenge? I couldn't be bothered arguing with him. I pressed the intercom button and directly told security to come up and escort him out. While I was breathing heavily, he remained perfectly calm and composed, standing up to adjust his suit jacket. No need to go to the trouble. Zwafei will leave with me. If you don't believe me, just wait and see. With that, he left, leaving me too agitated to stay even a moment longer, wanting only to go home immediately. A lurking sense of unease filled my heart. Amnesia is like a ticking time bomb. The moment her memory returns, we might each return to our separate places. What would Fei do? Just leave? Leave without saying goodbye? Or return to that man's arms and tell me she loved someone else, that this whole time was a mistake? Damn it. I had barely taken a few steps when my mother blocked me at the door. When you're down on your luck, everyone seems to show up to add to your troubles. Ms. Wu's tone was hostile. You don't answer your phone. Who are you sulking with? That woman in the photo is Zui Fei, isn't it? You're involved with her again. I told you I don't like you interfering in my private life. Huh? If you weren't my son, would I bother? So many years and not a shred of improvement. You lose all sense the moment you see that woman. I didn't back down. My relationship with her had been tense for years anyway. Out of respect for the fact that you're my mother, shut up now and let's maintain some dignity. Are you living with her? Fine. I like to see what she's trying to pull. She turned as if to leave. I grabbed her arm, staring hard at her. I knew the methods of wealthy families too well. Sometimes they were impossible to guard against. I had to make her drop any inappropriate ideas. Don't overstep. If you dare touch her, don't blame me for disregarding our mother-son relationship. Ms. Wu laughed contemptuously, still protecting her, like some kind of lovesick saint. Too bad you're blind and picked the wrong woman. Did you know? Back then, it only took 2 million from me to make her leave you. Son, your precious feelings are only worth 2 million. Are you still so deluded? You're hopelessly love-struck. I should have known. The promise back then, that the family would accept Zui Fei if only she gave up dancing, was just an expedient measure to avoid a direct confrontation with me. While I was blaming Zui Fei for not considering my perspective, Ms. Wu had her own ways of handling things. Give her money to make her leave me, or threaten her with her career, her personal safety. These things are all too common in wealthy, powerful families. Despicable, but extremely effective. But Zui Fei leaving me for 2 million. I'd never believe that. It's like someone owning the ocean, who would leave it for a cup of water. If she wanted money, why would I only give her 2 million? There must be another reason. America, cancer, 2 million. On the way home, I called a friend who works at an investigation agency. I have to understand the logic behind this. When I got home, Zui Fei was on the phone. Her phone was always ringing. She'd answer when she was in a good mood, usually explaining, "Sorry, I have amnesia. I don't know who you are. Thanks for your concern. I'm doing fine now." She said the same things to everyone, tired of repeating it. So most of the time, she'd just hang up. But today's call was clearly not from an ordinary friend. It's such a pity to give up. It doesn't matter if you can't remember. The basics are still there. There's still time to practice. You value it so much. You always said it was your life's goal. I'll send you a video. You can watch it and practice first. I'll go talk to Song Siyuan. What does he think he's doing? What business is it of his? He can forget about interfering with you. The voice was so loud I could hear it clearly from the entryway. Who else could it be but Lulu? I watched Zui Fei quietly. She hung up. Music played from her phone for a moment as she watched it. She stood up, rose on her tiptoes, stretched her arms, then kicked one leg up and spun around. Her body was light and supple. Even in loungewear, she danced beautifully. A confident smile on her face, reminding me of the dazzling woman who captivated everyone on stage, the radiant her. That version of her, who worked so hard for her dancing, and yet I had self-righteously demanded she give it up. Feeling deeply wronged myself, I had questioned if dancing was more important than me. Even forced her to choose, dancing or me. Suddenly it felt so ridiculous. If it were me, and someone tried to trap me with emotions, claiming it was for love, to protect me, I'd feel suffocated too. As she spun, her gaze flickered over, and saw me in the entryway, looking very happy. She ran over like a little swallow, but stopped awkwardly 2 steps away, her smile vanishing completely, probably realizing our nondescript relationship didn't allow for hugs and embraces. But right then, I wanted to hold her tightly. I stepped forward and pulled her in my arms, burying my face in the top of her head. Just wanted to hold her, not wanting to speak. She hesitated stubbornly for a moment, then her small hand gently patted my back. What's wrong? I suddenly feel like such an asshole. She seemed a bit lost, struggling lightly, trying to look at me. I held her tighter. Don't move. Let me hold you for a while. Just wanted to hold her like this, neither of us moving. If my stomach hadn't growled, breaking the harmonious atmosphere, I don't know how long I could have held her. Zwafei chuckled in my arms. Let's eat something first, then you can hold me more. I sighed. I haven't held you enough. I want to keep holding you, but we still need to eat and use the restroom. I want to hold you properly and legally. I loosened my arms. She tilted her face up within my embrace. What do you mean? I looked deep into her eyes, my heart filled with certainty. I want to put my mark on you. Tell everyone you're mine. Her eyes widened. Like this. I leaned down and planted a hickey on her neck. She looked a little panicked. We're not married anymore. We can be. Let's get married, okay? She looked utterly shocked. Married? What? I picked her up and set her on the entryway cabinet, bracing my arms on either side, boxing her in, forcing her to face me, leaving her no escape. It's been over a month. We're together every day. Your emergency contact is me. You cook for me. Your photo album is full of me. And you slept with me in so many different ways, so you? I asked her very solemnly. Do you still love me? Her face instantly flushed red, her eyes darting away. What you said back then, I stared steadily at her. Whatever happened back then, I'll find out. Even if I can't, it doesn't matter. What I care about is the present and the future. This is what I figured out on the way home. Today, Chi Xiao showed up. Tomorrow, maybe other suitors will come knocking. Instead of waiting for the male competition, it's better to take the initiative. Agonizing back and forth. It all boils down to who was right or wrong back then. What's the point anyway? Even if you found out a fly landed on the dumplings you ate 2 years ago, would you vomit up today's meal because of it? So what if she has amnesia? Isn't she right here in my arms? Let's create new memories together. As for those truths itching to be revealed, they'll come to light sooner or later. In any case, after all this time, no matter how many women I've met in 2 years, the only one who can still move my heart is her. So I must have her. I want to be her husband, legitimately. That's how people are. Sometimes, stepping back gives you clarity. The fog, clouding my heart, seemed to instantly dissipate. She was still a bit hesitant. Can we wait until my memory recovers? What if it never recovers? Separated for a lifetime? I couldn't bear that. But I don't even know where my household registration book is. That's not a problem. Leave it to me. But my finger tapped the place over her heart. Ask your heart, does it want to be with me? Forever. That day, we curled up on the sofa and talked for a long time. I told her about my work, my friends, my hobbies. She showed me a video sent by Lulu. It was her dancing, a solo piece she'd prepared for a long time, wanting to enter a competition. Beautiful, isn't it? This dance is different from the ones you showed me before. I like it very much. Yes, very beautiful. If you like it, practice it. You can do whatever you want. Really? Didn't you say we used to argue often because of dancing? Because I was petty, because you were too beautiful when you danced. Maybe I felt insecure. Yes, that's it. At the root of it all, it was insecurity. I didn't understand back then. But now I understand. Loving someone shouldn't mean tying them down, caging them. It should mean supporting her dreams, appreciating her achievements, understanding her choices. Only then can a relationship be healthy and long-lasting. That night, I moved back in the master bedroom as I wished. My equipment finally had a purpose again. I felt an unprecedented sense of peace. But I didn't expect Chi Xiao to show up so quickly. Zwafei opened the door, asking blankly, "Who are you?" Chi Xiao frowned. "Zwafei, what's wrong with you?" I quickly walked over, shielding Zwafei behind me. "She has amnesia. Don't provoke her." "Amnesia?" "That explains it. So you knew she had amnesia and deliberately kept her by your side, harboring malicious intentions." I blocked his outstretched hand, trying my best to maintain composure. Zwafei accepted my proposal. We're legitimate. He pointed at my nose, word by word. "You're just taking advantage of her vulnerability, exploiting the situation." Despicable. I grabbed the phone, intending to call security downstairs. Letting just anyone in like this, do they even want their jobs anymore? He completely ignored me, gave me a shove, took a step sideways, and grabbed Zwafei's wrist. "Come with me." Trying to snatch someone away right at my doorstep, under my very nose. I couldn't stand the sight of him. I stepped forward and landed a punch right on his head. He staggered back 2 steps from the blow. I tried to pull Zwafei back and shut the door behind us. He blocked the door with his long leg, shoved it open, and lunged at me. Instantly, two men, both well over 6 feet tall, were tangled in a fight. Having been civilized for so long, I normally wouldn't stoop to fighting, but right now, I just wanted to beat him senseless. He seemed to hate my guts too, not backing down an inch. Fists flew, striking faces and bodies, but we felt no pain. Only the surging adrenaline fueled us, driving us to fight desperately for dominance like two males. What fucking right do you have to cling to her? She came to me first. Bullshit. You two broke up ages ago. We got back together. We're both men. Don't think I can't see your little schemes. You think she'd actually like you? Dream on. Huh. Then ask her who's been by her side these last 2 years. We traded verbal barbs, even as we fought. But the mention of those 2 years sent my rage skyrocketing. With a swift move, I pinned him tightly. Viciously, word by word, I spat. Then do you know whose bed she's been sleeping in lately? Chi Xiao's eyes widened, his fury uncontrollable. What? Can't stand hearing this about your precious girl. Should I spell out the details for you? Song see you and damn you. Damn you. Enough. A pained cry echoed in our ears. Chi Xiao and I froze. The fight had been so fierce. Out of the corner of my eye, I'd seen Zhuo Fei desperately trying to separate us, unable to find a way in. But now, she was crouched on the ground in agony, clutching her head. While I was still stunned, Chi Xiao shoved me aside and scrambled towards her. Zhuo Fei, Zhuo Fei, Zhuo Fei, face streaked with tears, was gasping heavily. Chi Xiao anxiously rubbed her back. Don't cry, don't hyperventilate. Control your breathing. Zhuo Fei, focus on your breathing. With that, he scooped her up into his arms. I stepped forward, intending to take her. He yelled, Are you stupid? Go get the car. We rushed Zhuo Fei all the way to the nearest hospital. She kept clutching her chest, gasping for breath, clearly in great distress. Chi Xiao spoke to the ER doctor with practiced ease. My attention was entirely on Zhuo Fei. I didn't hear the details. I gripped Zhuo Fei's hand tightly. My own hands and feet were ice cold with panic, yet I was utterly helpless. This feeling of powerlessness was awful. After a period of frantic activity, Zhuo Fei received an injection and fell asleep. Chi Xiao looked at me with a cold smile. Aren't you leaving yet? You might hit the trending topics again. None of your damn business. You're the one who should leave. Taking care of my fiancée is my right and duty. Fiancé? Will your family approve? How much do you really know about Zhuo Fei? Her, depending on you now, is just the suspension bridge effect. Are you determined to fool yourself? He'd hit a nerve. Flustered and enraged, I glared daggers at him, wanting badly to punch him again. I suggest you calm down. This is a hospital. It doesn't matter to me, but if you make headlines, it could affect the Song family stock price. He was really asking for it. I ground my teeth in frustration. But seeing the marks on his face, 2 buttons popped off his shirt somewhere, looking utterly disheveled, and remembering I'd mostly gotten the upper hand in the fight, some of my anger subsided. Though I wasn't in much better shape myself. The emergency room was crowded, and we'd caused quite a stir. Some people were sneaking glances at us. A few were even discreetly recording videos. They were probably imagining some big drama about male rivalry. Logically, I should leave to avoid further attention. But leave? Make way for him? Not a chance. I shoved Chi Xiao aside forcefully. I pulled out Zhuo Fei's phone, opened her emergency contacts, and showed it to Chi Xiao. Sure enough, when he saw the word husband, his pupils contracted, and he clenched his jaw. So, when she had her car accident, the hospital called me, and I'm about to make it official. The one who isn't loved is the third wheel. Now get lost. He shook his head, his expression enigmatic. You're still so damn self-righteous. You think you know me? You don't know shit. I have no interest in knowing. If it weren't for Zhuo Fei, I wish I'd never see you again. I couldn't be bothered with him. I made a call to transfer Zhuo Fei to a high-end private hospital under the Song Group. Who knew Chi Xiao would say, transferring hospitals is fine, but I have to go with her. Are you kidding me? Could I let him take advantage of the situation? I have to go. I'm her attending physician, and I know her entire situation. Attending physician? What illness does she have that she would need you to treat? The almighty CEO Song. If you want to know, why don't you investigate yourself? Or is it that you've never had any patience for Zhuo Fei? only confining her freedom, stifling her talent, making her suffer and sacrifice in the name of love. Oh, and a ridiculous jealousy. He knew about my past with Zhuo Fei. I realized Qi Xiao's relationship with Zhuo Fei wasn't simple. But my intuition told me they weren't boyfriend and girlfriend. Qi Xiao undoubtedly liked Zhuo Fei. But Zhuo Fei didn't even have a single photo of Qi Xiao in her albums. They definitely weren't a couple. So, what illness did Zhuo Fei have? When I was with Zhuo Fei back then, she was very healthy. She had a full body checkup after the car accident. Apart from external injuries, there were no hidden diseases. Settling Zhuo Fei in our own hospital, I felt much more at ease. A little over an hour later, she woke up. I was on the phone with a friend at the time. CEO Song, I've got a lead on what you asked me to investigate. Qi Xiao is a gastrointestinal medical oncologist employed at the Anderson Cancer Center. He returned to the country 5 days ago. Zhuo Fei had regained her memory. When I hung up the phone and walked into the hospital room, Qi Xiao was holding Zhuo Fei's hand. And the look in Zhuo Fei's eyes as she looked at him was urgent and trusting. Her voice was a bit hoarse, but urgent. You didn't tell him, did you? Qi Xiao sighed deeply. Of course not. It's your privacy. That's good. Do you plan to hide it from him forever? You too. You seem to have been getting along well recently. Zhuo Fei curled up her knees, lowering her head. It's all my fault. How could I lose my memory? It's all my fault. I really couldn't listen anymore and pushed the door open. What exactly are you hiding from me? What the hell are you hiding from me? I never thought there would be a day I could speak calmly with Qi Xiao. I was burning with anxiety, while he was damnably elegant, sipping his coffee slowly and deliberately. Hurry up. So what exactly is Zhuo Fei's situation now? He rolled his eyes. No particular situation, very healthy. Then how did she get involved with an oncologist like you? Because she has up to an 80% chance of getting cancer. Before talking with him, I firmly told Zhuo Fei. This time, I wouldn't let go no matter what. As her fiancé, I should be qualified to know my fiancé's secret. Zhuo Fei nodded to Qi Xiao, which is why Qi Xiao and I are having this conversation now. I thought I would be very nervous, but unexpectedly, I was calm. It was as if I was certain that nothing could separate us, and my heart actually relaxed. Have you heard of Lynch syndrome? It's a familial hereditary disease. Female patients have up to an 80% lifetime risk of developing colorectal cancer and a 60% risk of developing endometrial cancer. The most terrifying part is that this disease, caused by a gene mutation, is autosomal dominant inherited. If the spouse is completely healthy, the offspring still have a 50% chance of inheriting it. Furthermore, patients with Lynch syndrome tend to develop cancer much earlier than the general population. Before precise genetic testing was available, the diagnosis relied on the Amsterdam criteria. One criterion is the age of onset being less than 40. I furrowed my brows tightly. I never knew such a cruel disease existed, like a ticking time bomb, where a healthy person could be diagnosed with cancer at any moment. Zhuo Fei's mother died of colorectal cancer. After her mother's death, her father remarried. Zhuo Fei grew up with her aunt. Her aunt was a very elegant and beautiful woman who never married. She used to like me very much, and our relationship had her aunt's blessing. During the more than half a year we were constantly arguing, Zhuo Fei had told me her aunt was sick. What did I do? Oh, I gave her a card and told her she could spend it however she wanted. During that time, the factional struggles within the company left me overwhelmed and stressed. Zhuo Fei's refusal to compromise wore me out. So, when her aunt was seriously ill, when she was so vulnerable, so in need of me, I, her boyfriend, was completely absent. Zhuo Fei's aunt had colorectal cancer and endometrial cancer. When Zhuo Fei brought her to Anderson, I handled the gastrointestinal tumor part of her case. At that time, they had already undergone genetic testing in China. Unfortunately, even in America, even at the world's best cancer center, there was nothing they could do about Lynch syndrome. All they could do was recommend regular follow-ups and prompt surgery if any cancer developed. My heart pounded wildly. The answers lined up clearly. So, during that short period when Zhuo Fei and I were constantly arguing, because of her aunt's illness, Zhuo Fei discovered she had Lynch syndrome. That's why she wanted to leave me. Accepted $2 million from Ms. Wu. Broke up with me. Took her aunt to America for treatment. and met Chi Xiao in America. So, there was never another man. I lost myself. I don't know how I made it back to the hospital room. Zhou Fei must have cried a lot. The pillow was damp, and her eyelids were a bit swollen. I gently touched her face, and she snapped her eyes open like a startled deer. Ignoring her protests, I squeezed onto the hospital bed with her. The bed was too narrow. I had to hold her tightly, so we wouldn't fall off. I told her in a hoarse voice, "I know everything, but I'm not prepared to forgive you." I felt the person in my arms instantly tense up. "Unless you compensate me. Compensate me with the rest of your life. Don't you forgive me either. Give me the chance to compensate you." "Okay." She nodded in my arms. "If it weren't for the car accident and amnesia, were you planning never to see me again for the rest of your life?" Without waiting for her answer, I continued on my own. "Silly girl, you underestimate me. Just watch how I'll punish you." Of course, wanting to marry Zhou Fei would meet with a lot of resistance. The first was Ms. Wu. But no matter how furious she became, I remained steadfast, like an old monk in meditation. "I'm just informing you, not asking for your opinion. Use whatever tricks you have, but I'll pay you back double." As for opinions from the family or other directors, I couldn't care less. Businessmen care about making money. A little profit leaking through my fingers is enough for them to fight over amongst themselves, leaving them no time to interfere with me. Gao Mingqi seemed rather melancholic. It wasn't that I didn't understand her feelings for me, but all I could offer in return was the smooth progress of our two companies' cooperation and the rising curve of the stock prices. She was generous too. I successfully acquired Wanzhong Media. That was my gift to Zhou Fei. The most annoying one was still Chi Xiao. "I don't approve." He put down his knife and fork, still with that infuriatingly calm and composed look. Just looking at him made me furious enough to breathe fire. Zhou Fei squeezed my hand tightly, afraid I'd flip the table in my agitation. "What right do you have to disapprove? We're just informing you, telling you not to be the third party interfering in someone else's relationship. That's not for you to decide." He wiped his mouth with his napkin, looking at Zhou Fei. "Are you really planning to marry this childish fool?" "You're the childish one." Chi Xiao quickly steadied his wine glass. "See? Does this look like a mature man? If you ask me, you should still come back to America with me." I was just about to speak when Zhou Fei gently interrupted me. "Darling." I instantly cooled down. Zhou Fei raised her glass to Chi Xiao. "Thank you, Chi Xiao. In my heart, you are a very, very important friend. I will never forget how much you helped me when I was most helpless. I hope you find happiness and come back to visit China often." A 24-gun salute went off in my heart. Chi Xiao pouted. "I don't want a friend zone card." On the way home, I was feeling smug. I disliked him from the start. The first time we met, he even told me he was your boyfriend. What a braggart. He actually was my boyfriend once. A sharp screecher breaks. I looked at Zhou Fei incredulously. I expected her to wink playfully and say she was kidding. But her expression held a touch of sadness. When my aunt was critically ill, she kept asking if you and I had fought. I didn't want her to worry, so I asked Chi Xiao for help. Told her he was my new boyfriend. That's why I said Chi Xiao helped me a lot. Not just as a doctor, where he did his utmost, but also as a friend. He helped me see my aunt off on her final journey. The fireworks in my heart fizzled out, leaving dead silence. I felt deeply ashamed. I thought I had cleared away all obstacles, but I couldn't make up for the 2 years we had lost. Fortunately, there was still the future. Chi Xiao, starting now, I won't give you any chance. After buying Wanzhong Media, the first thing I did was sponsor a dance competition reality show, inviting artists from the entertainment industry with a dance background or students from professional academies to participate, giving those who want to chase their dreams a high-quality platform. Zhou Fei, naturally, will be a judge. I ignored her refusal. "How are you not qualified? You've won the Lotus Award, have rich stage experience, toured over 1,000 shows. The role of judge is perfect for you. You're using your power for personal gain, aren't you? So what if I am? I want to see you shining brightly. Weren't you the petty one?" I hugged her from behind, swaying gently. "That's why I'm your boss, keeping you under my watchful eye, putting my stamp on you. Let's see who dares to covet you." Such deep scheming. Actually, 2 years ago, this was my plan. Unfortunately, We separated before I could succeed. I never really wanted you to give up dancing. I thought once my acquisition was successful, I could help you plan a safe career path. That would put my mind at ease. And about that competition, and Lulu mentioned, as long as it doesn't affect the wedding, I support you. Zwafei was deeply moved. She turned, hugged me, and whispered in my ear, "Husband, thank you." The classical dance circle has always been fiercely competitive. Wanzhong launching this show caused a huge stir in the industry. Coupled with the planning team inviting several top celebrities with dance backgrounds, the show's popularity was unprecedented. Even if people don't understand the art form, who doesn't love watching handsome young men and beautiful young women? Zwafei, as a judge, had an impressive resume displayed on screen. Moreover, her critiques were professional, and she occasionally went on stage to demonstrate. Instantly, the live comments exploded. "Wow, this lady looks like a fairy." Judge totally outshines the contestants. Confirmed. Zwafei is so beautiful debut. I want to see you every day. If she were my wife, I could die happy right here. Someone dig up whether she's married or not. The almighty netizens are truly resourceful. Someone actually found that trending topic from a few months ago. No way. Isn't that the new boss of Wanzhong? Damn, no chance then. Truly a case of a talented man paired with a beautiful woman. Sister has good taste. Song Siyuan is my type. Wei Haoran clicked his tongue nonchalantly. The netizens want you to debut, join dating shows, and next. Where are we going, cute baby? Your public image has already shifted from domineering CEO to the man behind the fairy. Isn't that quite good? I'm only just realizing now how strong my vanity actually is. In the past, I hated others staring at Zwafei. Even women looking at her a few extra times made me uncomfortable. Not anymore. I wish the whole world could see her beauty. And this unique beauty is mine. The variety show was a huge hit. My team asked if I wanted to ride the wave and arrange some other programs for her. But Zwafei refused. She said the dance show had helped many students realize their dreams, and that was enough. Becoming a star wasn't her initial goal. She simply loves to dance. She needed to concentrate on preparing for her solo performance next. On the day she won the competition, I was even more excited than she was. My gift was a ring meant to bind her to me forever. Our wedding took place in Bali. It was romantic, warm, and unforgettable. 3 years later, Zwafei put all her performance plans on hold. She told me she wanted a child. We had intentionally avoided the topic of children these past few years. It wasn't that I hadn't thought about it. I also felt it would be a pity if we went through life without kids. It wasn't about inheriting the company. I was just really curious what mine Zwafei's child would look like. They would surely be incredibly beautiful. But Lynch syndrome is hereditary. I know that feeling of constant fear all too well. Over these 3 years, Zwafei had to undergo a full checkup every 6 months, including invasive procedures like endoscopies and hysteroscopy. This was so that if any cancerous changes were found, they could be treated immediately, preventing them from reaching an advanced stage and shortening her life. So, the thought of adding a child felt unbearable to me. But Zwafei was insistent. Actually, people with Lynch syndrome can have children. It just requires third-generation IVF. After the embryos are created, they undergo pre-implantation genetic screening to select and implant only healthy embryos free of the condition, thereby preventing hereditary transmission. I disagreed. IVF is too taxing for a woman. I'd rather never have children than let her go through that hardship. She emphasized it to me time and again. This isn't about me having a baby for you. It's about you cooperating with me, because I want this. I remained unmoved. Why insist on having a kid? It'll interfere with our life together. You perform so much, the time you spend with me is already scarce. Do I have to give half of it away to someone else? Absolutely not. Grow up. It's not someone else. It's our child. You won't agree? Fine. I'll ask Chi Xiao to help me contact a sperm bank. I'll pick a handsome, blonde, blue-eyed donor and have a mixed-race baby. Huh. In the end, my resistance was futile. I had actually contacted Chi Xiao about this myself. He adopted the tone of an elite expert. I support Zwafei. If she wants it, her age is perfect right now. But IVF is difficult. It's manageable. The technology is very mature. Besides, you need to consider that Lynch syndrome comes with a high probability of endometrial cancer. If the worst happens and she loses her uterus, she might lose the chance to have children entirely. So I support Zwafei. All these years, every time I thought about her potentially getting sick, fear would make me tremble inwardly. All right then, as she wished, we would have a healthy child. From one IVF cycle, we got 8 embryos. After genetic screening, 2 were perfectly healthy. The transfer was successful, and Zwafei conceived twins. After 9 anxious months, the babies were born. In that moment, life felt complete. I'm thankful for that car accident. It brought her back to me. My only wish for the rest of my life is for my wife and children to be healthy and happy. Always. About 2 weeks after the car accident, fragments often flashed through my mind. Sometimes they were static images, sometimes a few lines of dialogue. Like shards, unclear. The man beside me. Everyone says he's my husband, but the way he looks at me alternates between pity, anger, and bewilderment. He often appears in my fragmented memories too, sometimes holding me gently, sometimes yelling at me furiously. I'm very confused, but I don't dare ask him. I have an intuition that he's very important to me. To help me regain my memory, the medical staff would bring me magazines and an iPad to look at. By chance, I saw my husband in news report. But he actually has a fiancée? How could this be? After he brought me home, he didn't sleep in the same bed with me either. But in the hospital, he was so gentle, taking such meticulous care of me. The medical staff and fellow patients all said, I was very lucky to have a husband who loved me so much. More and more fragments of my memory are returning. I know for sure that I love him. If he won't come to me, then I'll go to him. I managed to sleep in his arms. I was so happy, but he was very restrained, making no further moves. Why? Doesn't he like me? Or does he like that woman in the magazine? I really wanted to shake him awake and demand why. I didn't sleep all night while he slept soundly. Perhaps I'm really not attractive to him. He took me shopping during the day, which made me so happy. But unfortunately, we encountered an unpleasant woman. She seemed to know him well and spoke insolently. Back home, I couldn't help but kiss him. He was clearly moved, I could feel it, but he still shied away from me. It's no use. I'm going to make you face me properly. I'm so incredible. I even impressed myself. I kissed him until he couldn't help but respond. And he dared to threaten me not to regret it? As if I'd ever regret it. Just as expected, physical intimacy deepens emotional connection. I could feel him taking 3 steps forward and 2 steps back. But generally, things were improving. But I never expected our photos would end up trending online. Now everyone could see us. Our true relationship was practically screaming to be revealed. He was terrifying that day, grilling me about where I'd gone. In reality, I had just been sitting downstairs, lost in thought for a long time. Even though more fragments are returning, I still can't piece together the whole picture, the cause and effect. But I know he must care about me. I didn't expect him to confess that we weren't married, that we had actually broken up 2 years ago. It hurt so much, even though I knew it deep down. Hearing him say it out loud was unbearable. Because of this, we started living apart. He took me to his office, which made me so happy. Being able to see him while he worked. He must look so handsome. But I never expected his friend to approach me while he was in a meeting. Oh my God, what have I done? He told me I betrayed Song Si-Yuen, that I'd found another man. That Song Si-Yuen was nearly destroyed when I left, drowning his sorrows day after day. I shouldn't have come back. I only bring him pain. Hearing his accusations, I was shaken. Even though my memories hold no trace of another man, if I was truly that awful in the past, then I have no right to claim his affection now. I told Song Si-Yuen I was leaving, and he exploded. He demanded to know what this past month or so between us meant. Yes, what did it mean? For over a month, I'd been treating him as my husband, even though I knew he wasn't. But my intention was to pull him close, to possess him entirely. Living apart felt awful. I couldn't sleep at all each night. When I couldn't sleep, I tried desperately to remember. Sometimes fragments would surface. Other times, nothing. Lulu called to remind me about the competition. I actually had a faint recollection of it. But suddenly, it seemed utterly unimportant. What competition mattered when I was about to lose my husband? But then, that day, Song Siyun actually stamped the papers, saying he wanted to marry me. I was ecstatic, almost delirious with joy, but I didn't dare let it show too much. I could only rejoice inwardly. But I never expected Chi Xiao to come find me. The instant he spoke to me, I remembered him. I was frantic when he and Song Siyun started fighting. But at the same time, it was as if a dam broke in my trapped memories, and the past came flooding back like water from spring. I remembered how Song Siyun and I broke up. Remember my aunt, desperately ill, skin and bones, beyond saving no matter how hard we tried. I remember my own illness. I have cancer. I might die young. I might not even be able to have healthy children. Then what would happen to Song Siyun? It turns out all this happiness was stolen. And I don't deserve it. I broke down. I really shouldn't have gotten involved with Song Siyun again. I shouldn't have. When I woke up, Chi Xiao was by my side. He told me that my hiding the truth was also a form of selfishness, that I should let Song Siyun choose for himself. Song Siyun found out the secret I most wanted to keep from him. If he accepted me, I felt I would be wronging him. If he didn't accept me and left, I wouldn't be able to bear that either. So, 2 years ago, I chose to leave first. I'm the selfish one, the coward. He squeezed onto the narrow hospital bed, holding me. He told me to compensate him with the rest of my life and said he would punish me. Tears streamed down my face. To be able to stay by his side forever is my life's greatest wish. We will be happy. I will try very, very hard to make him happy. Although the illness can't be prevented, it can be detected and treated early. Chi Xiao said, I still have a chance at a normal lifespan. Please, heaven, you must grant me this. Life became stable and sweet. I started to get greedy. I wanted a child. I know Song Siyun wants one too, but he worries about me. Really, what's a little pain? I'm not doing it for him at all. I'm doing it for myself. I desperately want a child who looks just like him, preferably a boy. Then I could watch a mini Song Siyun grow up bit by bit, like playing a life simulation game. I never expected heaven to love me so much. It gave me a little Siyun and a little Zhuofei. The day I gave birth, Song Siyun cried. So silly of him. Later, I asked him what names we should give the children. He answered. The girl would be called Zhuomuyuan. The boy, Song Lianfei. They sound so lovely, but that's too obvious. Let's use homophones. The girl, Zhuomuyuan. The boy, Song Lianfei. Loving you in the past, no regrets. Happiness together for the rest of our lives. The end.